Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inside the Big Dynasty League. I am your host, Mike. With me, as always this season, the Statman Petey Cunningham, and filling in for the commish, who is always the one who's with me, but is not now, our good friend, Ben, the Macho Man, former champion, Wagner. I couldn't come up with a nickname.
Thank you. That's all I need. I mean, now that I have commissioner duties, I think it's my responsibility to just go ahead and say we're done with punters.
No. You're not. You don't have commissioner duties.
No, I'm filling in for the commission
on the show, not any other capacity. Just the show.
But this is literally fantasy football. I'm not allowed to live out my fantasy during this fantasy football video?
You can pretend as if you're getting rid of punters, but punters will very much still be around.
And if that's all your fantasy is just getting rid of punters.
Well, I have other fantasies, but my wife wouldn't let me bring that stuff. So
I gotcha. We're going to start off this week by looking at last week's matchup of the week.
Matchup of the week.
Last week's matchup of the week was between who, Statman, and what happened?
It was between Get Off Me and the Cincinnati Bourbon Barons. And what happened was Joel did not score a lot of points, owner of Get Off Me.
He did not.
I believe the third lowest score in the league, but luckily for him, he played the lowest scoring team in the league, the Cincinnati Bourbon Barons. Tough matchup, sixth lowest score all time for the Bourbon Baron franchise, 15th lowest all time in the history of the BDL. Rough week. What's your reaction?
I tried to outsmart myself. I didn't put in Matt Stafford, thinking, I don't remember who he was playing, but thinking whoever he was playing was going to not do too well. And I thought it was Russell Wilson was due, and I lost confidence in Sanu. And if I would have left those two in, like I have been,
you'd have got the win.
I'm not a mathematician, Statman. It would have been a hell of a lot closer, though. I can tell you that much. But I blew it. Hopefully I can recover this week. It's a big game between me and the Pimps.
Game for first place in the Beards and Beatdowns division.
It's not looking good. But we'll see what happens. Ben, what do you got on this one?
I'm not that great at math, but I can count up that Matt Forte, Frank Gore, as well as Duke Johnson had less points than David Johnson. One Johnson is more than one Johnson. I'm not sure on that math, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that stat, man.
That is correct.
And that is literally the only thing that saved Joel this week. But huge guy, huge situation, and I think Johnson's just going to keep rolling it out for Get Off Me.
I saw that since, I believe it was like week 15 of last year, David Johnson has 80 more fantasy points than any other running back in the entire NFL.
That is an incredible stat. A lot of people weren't believers in him, thought maybe this was a C.J. Anderson 2.0 scenario, doing a playoff run, looking nice, but looks like he is the real deal for Get Off Me.
Yeah, I think he had 3 touchdowns Monday night, 58-yarder to get things started. I didn't see any of the highlights. This is what I saw. But yeah, Get Off Me, other than David Johnson, really, this team, very, very disappointed in their efforts. I still think Get Off Me has a team that now they're 3-5. Right now they're on the outside looking in on the playoffs, but I think this is had a rough week this week, but I think this is a playoff team. I mean, they had Brandon Cooks on their bench get 30 points. I can't believe Brandon Cooks was actually benched this week, but it sounds like Carlos Hyde's not going to be playing this week. So right. Cooks should be in the starting lineup this week and probably every week the rest of the year.
The one thing I'll say is that even though they had 2 terrible performances out of Carlos and Mark Ingram, I think other than PD, he might have the strongest backfield in all of the big dynasty, which doesn't take much with the running backs this year, but it's a pretty formidable opponent to face up against.
I've been told I have quite the strong backfield. But, I don't know if it's true. I should note real quick before we get into the other matchups that I'm kind of running all the technical stuff, so if stuff's screwed up, I'm sorry. I didn't get any training. I'm just going for it blind.
I mean, we've got sound right now, right?
I think we have sound. There's a possibility none of this is working.
I think we've got video, so I think right now we're good.
It's entirely possible that we are here talking to my iPhone and the studio audience, which is live, by the way. This is where you make noise. Woo! All right, now shut up. And no one else is ever going to see it. But let's move on. Let's take a look at our next matchup. We got Hernandez Pistol Offense versus Mr. Clutch's fake football team. Ben, won't you start off on this one?
Whew. Mr. Clutch's fake football team looks like it's not so fake this week. Taking out Hernandez's Pistol Offense by just a slim margin, but just enough to get the job done. Won by 5 points. Give or take. I'll let the decimal points get over to Petey on that one. Huge production from Cam Newton. Doesn't look like they're too scared to let him run anywhere in the red zone or anywhere else on the field. 29.8 points, or 0.08 points from Cam Newton. Aaron Rodgers, I don't know what is happening up there, but that guy needs to get his head on straight.
I should point out, I like Aaron Rodgers. I think he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He looked awful. He looked like he didn't know left from right and just had no idea what the hell was going on. I've never seen the guy look so frustrated and confused on a football field.
Ever since he started dating Olivia Munn, it just seems like things have just kind of taken a downward turn for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, last year there was the excuse of no Jordy Nelson. Now he's throwing to Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb's trying to be the one, and he didn't have a very good year. I think he was also hurt a lot of the year. So this year you thought Jordy Nelson's back. Same old Aaron Rodgers, and it's very clearly not the same old Aaron Rodgers.
Is it possible that this is actually the attack of the show?
It's possible. I will say this. I would exchange success in the NFL, especially considering I already have a major contract signed, for dating Olivia Munn in a heartbeat. I got the money. Whether or not I do well, they're going to pay me. And I get to date Olivia Munn, I'm in.
So it's Jessica Simpson, Tony Romo equivalent.
That's one theory. That's his theory, not mine. I'm not blaming women for things. I'm a big fan of women.
I'm just saying. I don't know if it's a coincidence.
I'd like to find myself a special woman to, take care of, and she could help take care of me and put me on a budget, and then I won't spend all my money. Statman, you got anything on this matchup?
I just think Cole Beasley with 23.8 points for Mr. Clutch's fake football team. Really, that is what put him over the top in this matchup. I don't even know who he had on his bench that he could have played. Mike Wallace. If he'd started Mike Wallace instead of him, he would have got a loss. But Hernandez Pistol Offense, really, really rough week. I mean, Jimmy Graham with 14. Cobb and Nelson combined for 28. But like Baldwin only 7. Jordan Howard, who's come on strong, had just 12. And Jamal Charles, who's back and looks like he's actually getting, I think he had a touchdown run this week. But still limited action, only 12.7 points for him. The silver lining, if you even want to call it that, Hernandez Pistol Offense, that they were 99.2% efficient. So their best lineup still wouldn't have beaten Mr. Clutch's fake football team. So At least he's not agonizing over, oh, if only I would have started this person and this person out of one.
Even his
He
best
would have lost
isn't
regardless.
good enough.
So, I mean, you got to look at the positives when you lose.
Next, we got the San Francisco 69ers. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is still a sex joke. Maybe it's getting too old. Maybe we'll talk about that later. Who knows? Ooh. Versus the JPP firework incident. And that one's almost insignificant. No one really gets it. Yeah, the guy blew off his fingers. I get it. Okay. Statman, break it down for me. This was a close one, but not really at the same time, if you know what I'm saying.
This was a close one, but not really. Yeah, I mean, this one, I really thought coming down to Monday Night Football, the 69ers had Carson Palmer. Always comes down to Monday night. No doubt. You always got to tune in. Carson Palmer, even though people are not tuning in this year, apparently.
I'll be honest with you, it's the one football game a week I don't watch.
I've always wanted to watch it, but this year, just other things going on, have not. I think I've watched one of them. That was it.
Yeah, it is on ESPN, and our generation tend to cut the cable, so that's an issue. It's becoming an issue, plus all the terrible announcing on that channel.
Oh, they're just besides Fouts, they're the worst. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let's not get me started on Fouts. I'll go on for an hour.
69ers had Carson Palmer, Larry Fitzgerald, Chandler Catanzaro going Monday night. JPP firework incident just had the Cardinals defense. I thought there was a very good chance 69ers would win this matchup, but the Cards defense got 17 points, only gave up 3 to the Jets. Palmer with 14, Fitzgerald with only 10, and the kicker with only 4. So, rough week for the 69ers. JPP firework incident, late pickup. I can't remember what day it was, but it was the last pickup of the week. Ended up being the most crucial, 32.6 from Kenny Britt. Kenny Britt, who has had maybe 5 good games in his career, maybe 5 good games in his career, goes off for 32 points. Unbelievable. JPP firework incident just pulling wins out of their butt this year. Just, I don't know what they're doing. 6-2 now. They beat you.
Yep.
They beat me. Have they beat you too? I think they did beat you. They gave you your first loss. JPP firework incident right now has swept all of us. Swept the show. This is very sad.
All right. Ben, you got anything for us on this one?
Well, I was speaking with my co-host back in makeup before the show and telling him that on Sunday morning I told my wife, after looking at his team compared to mine, that there was no way I was going to lose this. On paper, I thought I had it, but my wide receivers just took a total dump. They all could be a milk dud of the week if they were a little bit lower. Amari Cooper coming on strong. I feel good going in for the rest of the season. But, yeah, Kenny Britt, as commissioner, stand-in commissioner, it's no longer legal to play Kenny Britt at wide receiver.
Again, you're not commissioner. You're filling in for the commish on the show.
I'm going to fill in some rules, too.
See, on the show, he's the commish. He's not even the commissioner.
Oh.
So, just to be clear.
What does part of the name give me?
Part of the name gets you the ability to be on the show without a stupid nickname like Math Boy.
I should have wore a hat. I know I should have wore a hat. It would have made me look better.
Next up, we got Wayne Enterprises versus the EBDBBMB, which is always fun to say. Statman, are you ever going to stop scoring massive amounts of points and pounding your opponents into the ground?
There will be a down week. We're starting to get into the buys. Last week was a rough bye week for me. Still scored 152, I believe.
On a rough week for me.
It was a rough week. I had Breeze out. Breeze back this week, scores 40. But I got Ezekiel Elliott out this week. I got Kelvin Benjamin out. So we got to find some fill-ins. But there's going to be a week where I score less than 150. It's going to happen. I'm not just penciling myself in for 150 plus every week. There's going to be a bad week or two. I'm just hoping I get them out of the way before the playoffs start. I want that trophy. I want that trophy so bad.
It's a beautiful trophy.
It's a gorgeous trophy. Every single time I go to my mom's house.
It's huge.
Yes. Unfortunately, you won the title, and you didn't get the honor of having the trophy.
I know.
So, renewed motivation. Name is on the trophy. Every time I go to my mom's house, it's literally, you walk in the door, the trophy is sitting right here. And I look at it over probably 10 times when I'm there. And I just want to touch it, but I'm not touching it till my name is on that trophy.
All right, Ben, you got anything on this one? This was quite a pounding, not a lot to say. For me, this is why you don't put your trust in Roethlisberger. But yeah.
Whew. Wayne Enterprise is just shoe-in for the playoffs, shoe-in for the bye. I think he is just going to run away with our division. Zeke Elliott, LaShawn McCoy, Le'Veon Bell, that is just a monster, three-headed monster. Even with Tevin Coleman, even with the 2.7, you could throw him in every week and just hope he gets his 25 points or his 2. It doesn't matter at this point.
He's all over the place.
Playing up against the EBDBBNB. That's as quick as I can say it, and I thought that was pretty fast myself.
EBDBBNB.
EBDBBBB. Close. I just don't think they had what they needed at running back or at quarterback, especially since now Roethlisberger's injured, so it's 2 smacks to his face, a loss as well as a big injury on his team. So we'll see where he's able to go from here.
All right.
Roethlisberger's out probably 4 to 6 weeks is what I heard. At least he's got Eli Manning and Matt Ryan on his bench. So I think going forward he shouldn't be hurting for quarterback points.
Yeah, but if you rely on Eli Manning, you're in trouble. Ask the Jets. Or the Giants. Who's he play for? I don't even know.
The Giants.
Anymore. All right, next up, we got the
Super Bowl
FC
rings.
Acid Kickers versus the Scarlet Pimps. Statman, break this one down for me.
I'll tell you what, FC Acid Kickers, they were really going for the zero-player strategy this week. Started 2 of them. Des Bryant, who was ruled out a while. I feel like Des Bryant was in his lineup last week, wasn't he?
Yeah, you know,
I think he was.
Des Bryant's been sitting for, 3 weeks now?
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, there's nothing more frustrating than non-active participants in the league. And I think someone should email that out to everyone. And then start players that aren't even active. Oh, wait, FC Acid Kicker's already done that.
Maybe this is an SOS.
Ouch.
Maybe he's kidnapped.
That's
Are you being held? If you are, leave them in there another week.
The season before you're joining the Big Dynasty, we did have a player who we thought was kidnapped and dead for weeks. Turns out he was alive. He was just a jerk. He didn't set his lineup. But
He was one of those. And then he came back and he beat Get Off Me. I remember that week.
He said, 1 week. He set his lineup. And it was like the week Get Off Me needed to win. Oh, it was great.
Oh, that was
But
hilarious.
I mean, you got 2 0 players and a negative player. That is not going to get you a win in the BDL. That is not going to get you the money. It was just rough for him this week.
Especially when he's putting up 40 points out of Odell Beckham. I feel like 90% of the time when someone has a player go off for 40, you're just going to get the win.
They should carry you to the win.
And all you need is a few points from your other guys and maybe some positive points from your defense, and he would have had a better shot. It just, Dan, if you're out there and if you're hurting, I'm there for you, all right? Our trade kind of stunk for both of us. I can talk to you, okay? Call me.
Okay, next up, our last matchup this week, we got Los Pandas Desnudo versus the Unseen Academicals. Ben, break this one down for me, man. Unseen Academicals.
He was seen.
What happened?
He was seen this week. Tom Brady has come back with a fury. Honestly, heard someone describe it as napalming the rest of the league. And got huge performances out of Lamar Miller, who's been fairly quiet down there in Houston this year. Christian Michael, what a great pickup at the beginning of the year. This guy has just been a total bait fish for the last 4 years. Every time you pull him in, you realize he's just this tiny little thing that's not going to do anything for you. You're not going to put it on the table and eat it. It just isn't worth having. John Brown finally starting to make a little bit of splash, maybe back from the concussion issues. Outside of that, team did okay, but those big performances were enough to elevate him over Los Pandas Desnudos, who is just, they're naked and ashamed this year because they are just not able to do anything. Sammy Coates still in the lineup. I knew he was a game-time decision, but unless you guys were camping again this week, he should have noticed that.
I don't believe we were.
So,
Yeah, Los Pandas Desnudos, this is just a year to forget about. I mean, this team...
Let's give him credit where credit is due. He did avoid the Poopery Poo-Poo Team of the Week for the 3rd week in a row.
He did, and for the 4th time this year.
Yes.
So he did avoid that. He was active this week when he picked up Cameron Meredith and picked up Sammy Coates, even though he started Coates and he got him 0. But at least he's being proactive, trying to do something to improve his team, even though his playoff hopes are probably gone. Unseen Academicals, though, this team, I think this team's got a shot to make some noise this year. Lamar Miller, as you said, has been a little quiet. He's been double-digit in points this year, but I think his highest before this week was like 15. But that Colts defense, they're awful. That Colts defense is terrible. Start everybody against the Colts defense. Like, if the Texans and Brock Osweiler could do what they did against that Colts defense, start everybody. Load the boat on them. Christine Michael, who I think is like a 3-time preseason player of the year. It's nice to see that he's actually turning that success over into the regular season.
Oh, definitely. Next up, we're going to take a look at our awards of the week.
Oh, yes.
Woo. I think we need to get a graphic. We need more graphics and sound effects.
We do.
Stickers for every award.
Maybe, I don't know. Starting off with the Hershey Milk Dud of the Week, and this goes to the Dud Player of the Week. Player that just stunk, got stuck in your teeth like a milk dud that you chew too early. And that one is going out to Matt Forte, owned by yours truly, the Bourbon Barons, with a measly 3.2 points.
I feel like you want to go on a little rant about this. Like, that award, I normally fill in the awards. That one was already filled in when I went in to do this. Like, it was Matt Forte, Bourbon Barons. I feel like there's a lot of hostility. We had a lot of zero players this week, but I think most of them just didn't even play in their game. So
yeah, I mean, Matt Forte's really let me down. It's the Jets quarterback situation, I think, is really what's hurt me more than anything. He's out there. He's loving every minute of it. But, you sign Fitzpatrick as your star quarterback, and he just is awful.
Well, this just in today, though. Civil War beard, Fitzpatrick himself, is out of the lineup this week.
I know they're going to go with Geno.
Gone.
Geno Smith, so your situation...
It just went from...
It's not getting better, actually.
It went from poop to crap. And I was talking to a lot... I was talking to a lot of people. By talking to a lot of people, I mean watching ESPN. And they were talking about how it's a huge mistake and that they need to not put in Geno. If they really have decided that Fitzpatrick's done and that they don't have a shot at making the playoffs or they're putting in whatever, then they need to be putting in that rookie they drafted whose name I forget.
Christian Hackenberg.
Yeah, and get him some reps and see if he's your future or if you're going to have to draft for the future. But we'll see. Maybe
spoiler alert, they need to draft for the future.
Maybe.
I don't... Yeah, they need to draft for... Yeah, they need a quarterback. They need a quarterback.
Yeah. Anyway...
Maybe they could trade for Tony Romo.
Their quarterback situation just costed me points because I think Matt Forte still has a... This could have really been a really good year for Forte, I really thought. But
he had like a 30-pointer earlier in the year, and...
I can't believe he might be missing... what's-his-face from Chicago?
Jay Cutler.
Cutler, yeah.
Smoking Jay.
Anyway, next up, we got the Ram Pick of the Week, brought to you by Ram, made by Ram. They have trucks, and it's an animal. Who's getting this one, Statman?
The Ram Pickup of the Week.
It's Kenny Brady.
Maybe a Ram is finally getting the Ram Pickup of the Week.
Oh, my God.
Kenny Britt of the LA Rams. It was destined to be. 32.6 with JPP Fireworks in it. Led them. Carried them, put the team on his back to a win over the 69ers.
I think this may be the first time a Ram won the Ram Pickup of the Week.
I think it is. I'm so excited.
No one should be rewarded for picking up a Ram offensive player. You should not be rewarded for that. But
hey,
he was.
He
It was a great play. And you know what? Looking back at what Kenny Britt's done over the year, he's been basically the second wide receiver on that team all year. He's been good for at least 4 catches, like 50 yards a week. So for him to do this... Not entirely unexpected.
But Casey
now
Keenum
that
was
we've
throwing
seen
the
it,
ball.
yeah. I don't think this is happening again, but it was the perfect pickup at the perfect time to whoop up on me and make me cry all night, Sunday night and Monday night.
Next up, we got the Whoopin' of the Week, brought to you by Whoppers. When you need to whopper and whoop and whop something, use Whoppers. Ben, who's getting this one?
Whew. Wayne Enterprises versus EDB, DBMB, BQ. BK? I'm actually not sure what we're talking about anymore. The show is over.
We're still going.
No. The show is over for the reference.
Oh, well, gotcha.
There is no more The League, and it looks like the show's over for EBDB, BB. You know what?
EBDB,
With a name like that, you deserve to lose this game.
And they got pounded, lost by 68.8 points, and thus the whopping of the week, the whooping of the week, what have you, goes to the Statman and his ownership of Wayne Enterprises. Next up, we got my favorite award, the Resurrected Team of the Week, brought to you by Lazarus Department Stores. And that one is going to the Unseen Academicals. Went from a 20-point loss to a 51-point victory. And I believe, according to the stats written here on the paper by the Statman, that is the second in points for the week.
That is correct. That is
Man.
in fact.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we got the Poopery Poo-Poo Team of the Week, and this goes to the stank of the league. The player and team that just stank so bad that you need to put the Poopery in there to try to cover up the stank, but it didn't happen. And I'll give you a hint. I'm going to let the stat man reveal the owner, but I'll give you a hint. There's a giant poop in front of them right now.
And it is the third straight week that this award has gone to the person sitting in this chair.
Maybe it's the chair.
I think it might be that spot. I don't know.
Man,
you're doing so well this year, too.
I know. Hey,
You're 5-3. Gotta keep it. You gotta beat the Pimps.
I'm hoping I can beat the Pimps. Do a little bit retooling.
Maybe next week you can be the Lazarus
Resurrected Team of the Week, which is my favorite award.
Yes.
And my favorite set of puns and jokes. Next up, we got the Surprise Breakout Player of the Week, brought to you by Proactive. Remember, if you're breaking out, get proactive. And if you're not breaking out, be proactive and get proactive, and you won't break out. Because you got to clean your face. Because it's greasy and nasty. Who's getting this one this week, Ben?
Terrence West of the Baltimore Ravens, as well as the EBDBBNB.
I believe that was correct.
I think so.
I think you got it.
I think I got
by the
it.
EBDBBNB.
Just like he got this award for Surprise Player of the Week, Terrence West. Now, I don't think he's been that big of a surprise. He's actually done quite well over the last few weeks, but this week turned it up an extra notch. Really showed Kenneth Dixon who owns this backfield at the moment. And I'm sure Petey is a little disappointed to see that. Terrence West coming from... he was at the Browns, correct?
I believe he was with the Browns,
yeah,
yes.
It's amazing what just switching from one team in your division to another will do for you when that team is the Browns. Going to a team that is not that good right now, but doing great for that team. And Terrence West looks great right now.
Yeah, he's looking really good. I think they're just going to keep riding him right now while he's got the hot hand. This was 11 points higher than his previous high for the year. Very weak crowd of show-offs this week, so that's why Terrence West is getting it.
All right. Let's move on here to our matchup of the week.
Matchup of the week.
This week, our matchup of the week is Wayne Enterprises versus the San Francisco 69ers. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is both a sex joke, and they are sitting to my right. Whew. It's intense. The tension here is very, very thick. So thick you could almost cut it with a knife. A butter knife, maybe, because it's thick, but it's soft.
And warm.
And warm tension. Humid.
Can we go to O'Charlie's now?
I want some rolls now.
All right. Statman, break it down.
This is a tough matchup. Rematch of the 2014 championship game in which the 69ers laid a smackdown on Wayne Enterprises. Wayne Enterprises dealing with some tough buys this week. Got Kelvin Benjamin on bye. Got Ezekiel Elliott on bye, who has been a stud lately. 69ers have Jonathan Stewart on bye. I believe somebody else, too. I don't think you would ever start them, if I remember right. But, so, tough week for Wayne Enterprises. Got to find somebody to fill in. Right now, projected a 25-point win for Wayne Enterprises. I don't see 69ers going down like that, though. I feel like it's like the Arizona offense. I think one thing that key part of this matchup, though, is Ben Roethlisberger being out with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown has never caught a touchdown pass from somebody that has not been Roethlisberger. So now they got Landry Jones, and they're going against the Patriots. But also probably hurts me because they're going to just focus on Bell and Brown all games, so that might even be a wash between the two teams. I'm really looking forward to this matchup. All-time series record is 2-2 between these two franchises.
Oh, snap. That's a tie.
So, very, very even, but he's got a league title. I'm coming for him. I don't even want to predict a winner.
You have to, though. That's the
this
second
one. That's in the contract, right?
That's in the second.
I gotta pick a winner.
If you don't pick them, then there's the pick 'em group. The pick 'em segment doesn't make sense.
I'm going Wayne Enterprises. I hope I get the win. I need to keep up with JPP Fireworks because he just keeps freaking pulling wins out. I need to keep up with them. I'm going with Wayne Enterprises to get the win.
Former champ?
Whew, yeah, bringing up former champ, I think one of those ones I had for the league title was against you. When it comes down to the big time, the big show, my team shows up. It's gone through a little bit of a renaissance, I think, in the last few weeks. Last week was a little bit of a down week, but I think we're coming back up. Having Eddie Lacy go down this last week and then having Jay Stu go on bye wasn't the greatest thing in the world, but I picked up James White last week. He's been throwing up some serious PPR points. And
28 points last week.
Honestly, I think it's going to come down to like a James White versus Kobe Fleener battle, which I don't know how that's going to happen.
That sounds exciting.
But it is, because I think both those guys could throw up zeros or 40 points. And I'm really excited for this week. I'm hoping that Antonio Brown is able to get something out of Landry Jones. Last year when he played with him, he had 6 catches for about 120 yards. So I'd be totally fine with 18 points out of Antonio Brown. Amari Cooper's finally coming on. He's blossoming into the player I've always wanted. Fitz and Sanders, I think they'll be fine. They're just great PPR machines. Also, I believe Sanders is like 15th in wide receiver points right now, which would make him a wide receiver 2. And he's right on the cusp of that wide receiver 1. So, yeah. Can't remember. Someone made fun of me about that, but I don't think that's an issue for me.
Who are you taking?
I'm taking myself. The 69ers all the way.
All right. The commish, Clyde Randall Waters, is taking Wayne Enterprises. Myself, I'm taking Wayne Enterprises as well. Not to discredit the former champion, but the points that Wayne Enterprises is throwing up every week, I just don't know if anyone's going to beat him. But we'll see.
Tuesday morning, you boys will be crying in the Batcave. I'm telling you that right now.
All right.
At least we have the Batmobile.
True.
Go take a ride.
Next up, we got the Cincinnati Bourbon Barons versus the Scarlet Pimps. Former champ. What do you think is going to happen?
Cincinnati Bourbon Barons versus the Scarlet Pimps. I think the Pimps are kind of a scary black horse this year. I think she started out a little slow. I think we kind of all forgot about her. Gio is now seeing the majority of the carries in the Cincinnati offense. I don't know what's going on with Hill. I think it might be injury related to his shoulder, but they're not talking because they don't have to. But I think Gio's going to put up some good points. Devontae Freeman somehow is still a relevant running back at like 120 pounds. I don't know why, but he is. DeAndre Hopkins has been a little slow, but I really like the Scarlet Pimps in this one. The Bourbon Barons have been in a little bit of a slump. We'll see if Forte can turn it around or not, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Pimps for this one.
All right, Statman.
I hate to break to you, Bourbon Barons, but I'm going with the Pimps in this one. Like them to have a 20-point win in this one. I mean, Bourbon Barons have to rebound from last week. They're going to do better this week. But I just don't see them getting past 120, and I think Pimps are going to go for 140 this week. I just see a win for the Pimps.
That's all right. I believe in myself. I am taking myself, and I want other people to confirm that on our document, the commish did take the Bourbon Barons. It is not just me saying he did.
All right.
All right. Next up, we got the EBDBBNB versus Hernandez Pistol Offense. Statman, who are you taking in this one?
This is a tough one. Hernandez Pistol Offense, the Packers wide receivers, they did all right last week. EBDBB is probably going to be starting, I'm guessing, Matt Ryan, maybe Eli Manning. But I like their team. I think Charles is going to keep eating into Spencer Ware's playing time and carries. So I think Spencer Ware is going to go down a little bit. Terrence West had 28 last week. Don't see him repeating that. I like his wide receivers with Landry, Allen Robinson, and Sterling Shepard. Hernandez Pistol Offense has Cam Newton on bye, but they got Dak Prescott. I'm going with Hernandez's Pistol Offense to get the win. EBDBB is 2-6 in the division. I don't see them getting a win this week.
Former champ?
I have to agree with the stat, man. Not much to say. Dak Prescott's been looking really good as a rookie. I think he's going to continue. I think the interesting part of this matchup will be see who gets the majority of the carries, Jamal Charles or Spencer Ware, and what do they do with them? Jamal Charles only had 11 touches last week. I think he was only in the backfield for 16 plays, but he was able to get a touchdown and, 60 yards with that?
I think so, yeah. Like 12 points.
Don't count him out. He's not that old yet, and I see Jamal Charles to take back over these carries, and I think Spencer Ware is going to completely disappear for EBDBDBBB.
All right, so you're taking Pistol Offense?
I'm taking the Pistol Offense.
All right, I am also taking Hernandez Pistol Offense, but we can't quite sweep it. The commission took the EBDBB.
What's the upset?
Next up, we got the JPP firework incident versus Mr. Clutch's fake football team. Statman. Talk about Math Boy and Mr. Clutch's fake football team.
Mr. Clutch's fake football team has Jason Witten on bye, Cole Beasley on bye. Not sure if they're getting anybody back from last week from the byes. JPP firework incident, I'm going to predict that they're going to pick up... I can't even think of a wide receiver to compare with Kenny Britt. They're going to pick somebody up that has just not been good this year, and they're going to go off for 20, and they're going to get the win, probably by 2 points, because that's just how they do it this year.
Former champ.
Yeah, I'm going against the JPP. I think he's playing with fireworks again, and I think he might end up blowing off his other hand this week. The problem I see here is I don't see the depth at wide receiver. Steve Smith being out possibly could be an issue. Kenny Britt, I do not expect another repeat performance.
I don't think Kenny Britt expects another repeat performance.
Kenny Britt, I just retired with best game of his career.
That's it for me. Going out on top.
I actually really like Mr. Clutch's fake football team. I played him earlier in the year. I thought he had a really good team showing up. I think A.J. Green's ready to have another monster game. C.J. Anderson and Todd Gurley, they've been a little bit on the lower side lately. I think you're going to see some touchdowns out of them. He has Aaron Rodgers sitting there, which maybe without Eddie Lacy, he'll start throwing the ball a little better and maybe a little quicker. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take Mr. Clutch's fake football team this week.
All right. I'm taking the JPP firework incident, and so is the commish. Next up, we got Los Pandas Desnudo versus Get Off Me.
Get off me.
Get off me. Former champ, Ben. Who you taking?
Whew. I gotta go with Joel. Like I said before, those Pandas are just naked and afraid this year. Joel's coming back. He's coming around. David Johnson, Mark Ingram, Brandon Cooks. Alshon Jeffrey starting to show up. His hamstrings of sadness seem to have disappeared for the moment. He was not on the injury report this week. They have a Thursday night game. Alshon's not injured. I'm sure he'll have his hamstrings replaced in the third quarter, but for the moment, he is healthy. So yeah, I'm going to take Get Off Me in this one.
I'm going to Get Off Me. This is a slam dunker to me.
Sweep it all the way through the commissioner.
Ooh,
wow.
Commish.
It's gotten that bad.
Our final match of the week is the Unseen Academicals versus the FC Acid Kickers that are so active in participation in the league that they keep starting injured players.
As Bryant's on bye this week, will he be in the starting lineup?
We shall see. What's the over-under on that? What do you think?
3.
I'm taking the over.
I bet he starts.
I don't think he'll start. He can't possibly start him, right?
We'll see what happens. He's
on a bye.
Do they have internet over there in Indiana?
I don't know if in Indiana they have internet anymore or not. They did before, because he did set a lineup. And I've seen him make adjustments for the test. He did send an email out once. Once.
About a trade.
And that was it. Anyway, so you were taking who?
Unseen Academicals, easily.
Former champ?
Unseen Academicals.
I'm taking the Unseen Academicals, and the commish is as well, so we can sweep that one. I am now saving my picks, and they are submitted. I encourage all of you to do the same. Refresh here on the standings for the pool picks. We have Get Hoffman at 29 in the lead, followed by the Bourbon Barons at 24 and Wayne Enterprises at 24. And then we got the 69ers and the Unseen Academicals at 22. And the SC Asset Kickers yet to submit a pick. They're so active. Anyway.
We had 10 people submit picks last week. And I believe 10 the week before. So
we're getting most people.
A lot of involvement. Yeah. Very happy with the league this year that we're getting so many people to make picks.
All but one have at least submitted picks once this year. So
and they do pay. I received that $50 last year, so they're good for their money.
If you're one of the people who've not ever gotten to a paid position in this league, we do actually pay out. We don't just go on a vacation with the money.
I make enough in this league. I have to put it down on my taxes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for us tonight. Please remember to be safe, and if you get hungry, eat something. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night and good luck.